Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am stunned.
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 Why are you stunned?
Well, should we tell the people who we are first?
Tell the people.
I'm Jen.
I'm Neal.
That's Neal. We're in a relationship. We talk about reality TV. I'm Canadian. He's American. One day we'll tell you the story of how we became a couple. We love television. We love all media. We love all games, all shows, all movies. Our current obsession, along with the rest of America, we are not in America, we are in Canada.
North America.
Is Love Island.
Love Island. Yes. Also, side note before we get started, Trader Season 4 and apparently Survivor Season 50 have wrapped filming. Proceed. I didn't think they were going to film Survivor until the fall, but...
Did we know the challenge was coming out at the end of this month?
Yes.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
I don't... See, here's the thing. I'm a teacher. It's my favorite thing to say about myself. I don't want to wish my summer away, but there's so much stuff coming out television-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Middle of July 13th is a big day. You said something besides... I think that's when...
Well, this Love Island USA is supposed to end, and the,
follow around the couples from last year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be... Which would make sense to put them on the same day. Yeah, there's a lot... Oh, the Stephen King show is coming out. The Institute with Ben Barnes. Horror.
We love horror television.
Yes.
If you have access to Shudder, I'm pretty sure it's a Canadian horror streaming service. We've watched the show Channel Zero. Is that the name of the actual show?
I think so.
And what else have we watched? So Channel Zero is like an anthology, like American Horror Story. So every season is a new story with a new cast.
The Into the Dark movies.
The Into the Dark movies, which were made... What was that? That was Hulu, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, some network for 2 years straight put out a new horror movie once a month.
And, they're big name people in them.
And, they're well produced. They're all... there's a huge range in quality. But, they're all worth watching.
Yes. What's the weird teddy bear?
Puka.
Puka.
And Puka 2. That one gets a sequel.
Yes.
And then we've also watched Slasher, which is it's a Canadian horror show that each season is a new story. We gave up on the most recent one, though.
Yeah, because you hate period pieces.
And it's about, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, but, the first 3 seasons were phenomenal.
So good. It's based on, it's a slasher.
Good whodunit.
Yeah. Great. So if you have horror TV that you would like to watch.
And it's the same actors, too. They're reused in different ways each
season. Slasher does that. Channel Zero doesn't really do that. Slasher does that the way American Horror Story does.
But, big actors and all these things.
Uh-huh.
We love that.
We do. Okay. Love Island. We're going to talk about episodes 21 and 22. 21 is the fallout from the heart rate challenge. Shelly is mad at Huda. I'm bored already. She really cannot see... Well, what am I going to keep saying? Rules for thee and not for me.
Double standards.
She, in the diary room, is telling us that she doesn't understand Ace being upset with her doubling back because he went and kissed everyone and put on a big show with Huda. He can have his feelings, too. And look at me. Shelly has turned me into an Ace sympathizer.
Which is probably not going to last very long. Well, first... Huda goes to apologize to Shelly, and Shelly's like, I don't want to talk tonight.
I'm frustrated, I might say something, which, that's your right to be in your feelings like that, but now you've made it even bigger.
I'm against...
Because instead of squashing it and going to bed and starting tomorrow anew, now tomorrow's going to be all about that.
I'm against Reddit and whoever is on Shelly's side over the Huda thing.
Which Neal says he sees most people on Shelly's side. I spend more time on, like, Facebook. People are not pro Shelley.
Okay, well, there were multiple posts taking her side. And you know who summed it up perfectly was Chris. He said...
Who's Chris? Oh, Chris, yes!
Chris,
mature.
tall Chris. Giant Chris.
Who was supporting Huda, so I'm, like, even more Team Chris.
Yes, he was like, you know, she's still exploring. Like, she shouldn't be able to say that she's mad about what Huda did. I'm like, yes, thank you. But of course, Shelley has her echo chamber of Ciara and Elandria.
When really all the girls have sided with her. In the other conversations, like, the guys have now had reflective conversations. They all think Huda took it too far.
The OG guys.
Is she a pick-me? Is she a try-hard girl? Yes, she is. But in this instance, is she also just playing the game? Yes. So, like, give her some leeway. And I'm not, I will make it clear, a Huda lover. Like, I wish she'd gone home 2 weeks ago. But now I think we're being too hard on her. I know. So we're going to report on both of these episodes is the, like, goal of this podcast. And I know that after the next episode, like episode 22, where they write anonymous letters.
Yeah.
I know people, by people I mean the internet, have turned on Ciara.
Big time.
I don't know why. I don't know what she said. I don't know what she did. But I saw a report that she lost like 100,000 subscribers.
I don't even know if it's because of the anonymous letter. I think, from what I have gathered, I don't know the specifics, they all go after Amaya.
Amaya?
Hardcore. And she stands up for herself.
Heck yeah!
And so everyone on, like, the polls of who are your favorite Islanders are voting for Amaya, Papaya.
Amaya Papaya.
And Pepe.
Pepe?
Because they hate... apparently all the guys suck next episode, too.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we need to fast forward this episode. Everyone's still in their bunny suits and their cheerleader outfits.
I think this episode is largely inconsequential to the show. A lot of stuff happens next episode.
Well, there's a Ciara and Nick date.
Oh,
we at least have to report.
Where he... I'm sorry.
You think he's going to break up with her?
No, I don't think that he's going to... I think he's just so uninterested in her that he just... Because we haven't seen them interact one-on-one, like, since they've all of this...
Except for their journey. But that was in Night Vision.
Yes, their journey.
That's their code word for sex this season, by the way.
Yes.
And we spent a whole bunch of time last episode trying to remember what it was last season. I can't remember it.
The articles
were movie theater? I don't know.
All the articles were talking about this season, so I couldn't find any. I even went through the articles talking about this season, maybe hoping they'd refer to last season, but no luck. This season sucks.
I think they just talked about menu, like a full course. Did you? Yes, they did. Excuse me. Because they talked about, like, did you have appetizers? Did you have... I think. Maybe.
That sounds right. That sounds
right. So we're going to watch this episode and the next episode, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk to you guys.
Yes.
Because we want to know if the hate for Ciara is legit. Because, I mean, she was... Just a week ago, she was getting the most votes.
I think people are just sick of the mean girl trio that's forming.
Which, what are they trying to do? They're trying to replicate the Powerpuff Girls. We loved the friendship last season between Leah and Serena and... Who's the third? It wasn't Kaylor.
No.
Janae.
Yes.
Serena, and Leah were the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, because they were actually likable.
That's what's missing.
You cannot cast influencers with a ton of followers. That has ruined the season.
Yeah, bringing them in... But Ace is really the only, like, major example of that. Like, already had hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
But when you have hundreds of thousands... and you have voting as part of this, they're going to defend you when you should be going home.
This is true. That doesn't work. And that's why, like, voting back in the day would say, like, American Idol, Big Brother. Like, it was all just truly, you had to win America over.
Yes.
Now that's not what it is anymore.
No.
But that's what they did last season. They won America over.
Yes.
Because they were real and they were likable.
Yes.
Or unlikable, but, like, acknowledged
Like,
it.
Aaron was unlikable.
Right.
And he just has a bunch of crying memes because people hate him.
Okay, we're going to watch these 2 episodes. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Guys, I think the gummy is really starting to hit me. I told Neal to pause, and he says, did something happen? And it's literally just because I need to come tell you that if I had 2 men making me breakfast, I would just be eating both of those breakfasts. Like, hello, I'm on vacation, and you lay 2 beautiful plates of food down in front of me?
For real.
Yes, and thank you. Yesterday, when not TJ, man. Elan, you cannot eat carrots on a podcast. The crunchiest food in existence. When Elan made Sierra the C-shaped pancake, and she's like, oh, I'm full. Nah.
Eat it.
Round 2.
You literally get rid of 80% of the pancake when you make it the letter C.
And that's what both of them did. You can tell by the, like, rickety C that they just made a circle pancake and then cut it into a C. Neither of these boys attempted to make the batter into a C. They're just being wasteful.
People make pancake art. The least they can do is try.
No, actually, they can do less than try. The other thing I needed to talk about was Brian, the most boring looking dude here, says Andrina, the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life, is boring. That their conversation has been boring.
But in his defense, she straight up told him, like, I'm gonna go explore everybody. So I think they weren't very strong. They were like, hey, let's just make it through this coupling.
Okay, fine, but still. And also, we think it's super mean that Hutta sat down next to Elandria and is, like, crying, and Elandria's like, it was a bit much, and then gets up and walks away. So we're all gonna mean girl ignore her tonight? Great. Except for Amaya, who is just so kind to everybody.
Papaya.
Okay, now I just had to go on my little breakfast rant. We've only made it to the next morning. We'll be back. Stop! Okay, we finished episode 21. Big, I'm shipping Chris and Hutta. I am a person who, depending on my mood, needs to put a hand in front of my face. I don't know that they needed to show us the tongue play.
She is a tongue monger. Every time she kisses a guy, she's like an anteater.
Like, just full licks. Like, start at the bottom, lick.
Look for those termites. But I am
Does an anteater eat termites? Doesn't an anteater eat ants?
Whatever. I'm sure they eat both. Beggars can't be choosers.
It's in the name.
I'm a Hutta fan again, shipping her with Chris. She's being way more chill.
Which is obviously what she's capable of.
Yes, and Chris is not love bombing her.
And he brings out, he's mature in himself.
Yeah.
So, like, he brings out, I think, the best in her where Jeremiah brought out the worst.
Here's the thing.
Sierra and Nick are closed off. We don't care.
Yeah, they're boring.
He literally, he's just peeing. He's
What?
It's just,
Oh, he's marking his territory.
Yes! Because the land's still there. Otherwise, this is not a conversation that would have been had.
Well, first, we need to talk about how...
Shelley and Hutta still haven't talked.
That, yes, and so many people hate Sierra now. So what happens in this episode 22...
With the letters, because like right now, I still
don't think it's the letters. I think we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it is. It's not her letter. Maybe she wrote one for somebody else. I don't know, but...
Okay, so they even gave a preview of this episode that it gets to be anonymous. They did this on Bachelor in Paradise once. It was a disaster. Nom 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 nom.
It's always going to be a disaster, especially for people that are emotional. If you say anything bad about them, they're going to turn into a puddle.
But also, I think it's, like you said, the Amaya thing, I think it's a gang up thing, which, you know what? Even if you were really beloved by America, if there's like a huge pile-on, I can't root for that. Like, almost in no situation does a person deserve that, unless it's, like, blatant.
Right.
You know, like, if someone does something blatantly wrong, like, I thought Taylor picking Clark, I thought the girls had the right to kind of say something. Because the dudes were being quiet. You still have people who are going to defend you. You're choosing what's right for you. We're allowed to have our opinion on it. Obviously, the ganging up has to be pretty direct in this case. Because no one got mad at the girls for their snide comments for that.
Right.
So I think these letters, like having the conversation, is going to make people say things to each other that they maybe never would have said. Like, hey, I didn't write that letter, but I agree with it.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
But why are we at Amaya in the first place? Is she going to defend Huda? Is that what starts... Like, I can't imagine how they start in on her. And now Zach and Alandria are kind of maybe back on. Zach doesn't like Amaya anymore because she was sitting down talking to Chris and she was disappointed because he seemed to just want to make friends, which so many of the guys on here just want a vacation and a bromance. So I don't blame her for being like, it doesn't feel like he's serving the purpose of the show. Either pull me or pull someone, like have a conversation with a woman.
Here's the thing. It started as Love Island. Then people have dubbed it Friend Island.
Friendship Island.
Friendship Island. Now it's being dubbed Enemies Island after this episode. So I don't know, we got an hour-long episode.
Which is a good length, by the way. Unless something really exciting is going to happen, don't give me an hour and 20 minutes anymore.
That last episode where nothing happened it felt like it was 4 hours.
Like, all of a sudden, this was a job.
No, like Ace is fighting with Shelly because she can't be wrong no matter what.
He's saying he doesn't feel heard. I feel him in this case. She doesn't... And even the girls are like, yeah, it just sounds like he's mad at you because you're mad at him. And he, like, didn't have a reason to be mad at you. She circled back to Chris. I'm gonna get over it. But, like, you're open. Anyway. Up to this point, Shelly and Huda have still not had the conversation. Shelly and Ace's conversation did not go well. Neither of them felt good after it. Who else is definitely jumping ship? Well, Zach and Amaya. Amaya had a conversation with Alan, who now that Sierra and Nick are closed off, he's like, well, obviously I have to look elsewhere.
Adrina shot her shot with Pepe and was promptly shot down.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I just want to see this through with Grayson, a.k.a.
Get back with Hannah.
I'm still thinking about Hannah. It would look really bad to Hannah if I jumped ship again.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Like, Huda and Chris being a big one.
They're cute.
They are, yeah.
Like, his smiles with her seem genuine. And he also said that, you know, if I'm pursuing someone and they're giving me nothing, then I don't keep chasing that. Which he was talking about Shelly, so he's really going to put his attention into Huda. I think that's good, because that's the thing.
Is going to blow up. When Shelly eventually goes for him, and he's like, you know, I'm going to focus on Huda. If she hasn't resolved her stuff with Huda, we're going to have more problems.
Yeah, because it does look like Huda keeps going after her men.
But then she shouldn't be angry about the Ace thing, yes.
Right, you don't get to have men plural. Decide who you're mad about. Are you mad about Ace or are you mad about Chris? Is this whole thing actually that you're mad about Chris?
This cast stinks. Like when the dude that's with Adrina, Brandon,
Brian.
He was like, I really want to go after Jaden, and then we didn't see either of them. Like, they didn't show Jaden. She didn't say a word the entire episode. Austin didn't say a word.
He's still here, by the way, guys. Like, Austin is still on the show. Remember him?
Pepe wasn't shown other than his brief conversation with Adrina. Like, it's just, there are they need to get rid of at least 8 people. I'm saying it. I don't care if it's all the cost. Just end the show. Put it out of its misery. Give the money to charity.
You know we don't have to watch this.
Yes,
right?
we do. We're 22 episodes deep. We can't not finish it.
We just threw a 50th anniversary party, like wedding anniversary for my parents. And one of my childhood friends and her sister were there. And her sister hadn't started this season yet. And oh, did I envy the thought of having that many episodes built up. When I first started watching Love Island, that's how it happened. I'd heard so much about it that I came in late to the season, and it comes on 5 times a week. So if you're a week behind, you have at least 5 hours of television to binge.
No one's... I mean, you take out After Sun, so you got Saturday, Sunday,
it's still 5.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. You're right, dang. So
5,
if you watched After Sun, that's 6.
So much TV. I feel that way about when I can get into a season of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette too, because usually that's on like 2 nights a week, so that's 4 or 5 hours per week. I like something that comes out multiple times a week, but you gotta give me substance multiple times a week. Neal could never get into Big Brother, and I think it's because it moved too slow for him. We also know, as far as reality competition goes, that he likes the competition side more than the people side, and the point of Big Brother is literally to watch people live in a house. So, like, I can see how that would get boring. I was definitely the person that read updates of the live feeds when I was, like, a teenager. I was gonna say something else about being a teenager that was relevant.
But Survivor's gone too far to my side. They don't have enough regular island life. We need a good balance. It's all competition and scheming now.
Huh. I didn't know you felt that way. But then you still get mad if people base their decisions on emotions.
I mean, like, building the hut.
Oh, like
actually surviving
island life.
Yes.
Got it.
Not relationships. I could use even less of that.
But Big Brother has 3 episodes a week, and there's a competition in every episode. But the thing is, one of them is like for a reward or like something inconsequential. So that is always a pretty boring episode. Anyway, we are going to watch the most recent episode, which still should be the most recent episode once we've uploaded this podcast, because it is currently Wednesday, so it does not come on tonight. We are going to watch the Anonymous Letters episode, and we will be right back. Neal's laughing because all we've watched is the preview, but they just showed a preview of Amaya standing up in front of everyone and saying, "Thank you for your what does she say?
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts," with tears just streaming down her face, and then she silently walks away alone and starts weeping. What have they done to that poor, beautiful heart? Okay.
Crushed it.
Now we're going to try to wait.
58 more minutes to go.
Nuh-uh.
No?
No.
No way.
We're halfway through the episode.
See, this episode is flying by because they're actually doing stuff.
We just watched Amaya stand up, be told by Austin that she cries too much and moves too fast. He owns up to writing it. Ace chimes in and talks about how she moved too fast. She's already upset. She's already crying. She's taken it like a champ. And then Zach chimes in to also say, "I let you kiss me. I let you do this. I let you do this," as if he had no interest in her. What girl could stand, I'm like getting emotional about it. What girl could stand up and listen to 3 guys in a row tell her how she's too much?
But props to Brian for trying to diffuse the situation.
Right. He's saying, you know, in the Hispanic culture, saying mi amor, babe, is a really normal thing. So we look towards Ace. He's like, you guys have to meet her halfway too. Which is so true. They were so turned off by her love and appreciation for them. Like, we think we're too cool to be liked? We only like girls who play it cool and act like they don't like us?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I get it. Amaya Amaya was too much for Austin. She was talking about making babies. But there are nicer ways to say that. She stood up for herself. She got mad at Zach because she said, you could have told me that in a conversation privately over there, and instead you just said it in front of 20 people. After he has a conversation with Alandria about how he deals with things in private.
Yeah, no, and like, yeah, he didn't talk to anybody. Like, he hasn't had any conversations with anyone since getting back from Gaza.
And I know Brits in general are more pragmatic, so I know he probably took that as a moment to be like, hey, yeah, see, what these two blokes are talking about is what I mean. You know, like, oh, look, yeah, you do move too fast. No, she moves too fast for you guys.
And, like, Ace didn't need to chime in. He's already told her all of this many times.
And I think he felt bad about how she took it. The look on his face said he felt bad that he tried to explain himself and it made things worse. He tried to run after her. Sierra stopped him. She was right to do that. She doesn't, like, it's all she needs right now is comfort, and Ace can't be the one to give that. He was just part of the pile-on. So Sierra and Huda are comforting her now. And Sierra is actually really good with the comforting words.
So there's 27 minutes left. What happens with Sierra?
To lose 100,000 followers, because right now she's pep-talking Amaya in the perfect way. She's saying, don't let someone else tell you how to be Amaya.
Yeah, this is weird.
Like, you are who you are, and the right person will love you for it.
Which they're definitely not going to be on Love Island.
Which is the point you've been making the whole time, is the kind of person she needs is not the guy who auditions and makes it onto the show.
Yes.
No doubt. Okay, we will be back one more time. My heart is, like, broken.
I know. That made me very uncomfortable.
Right, which, like, Neal is a robot, so uncomfortable for him means sad.
Ace and definitely Zach did not have to say anything. It could have just ended with Austin's explanation.
Speaking his mind, yes.
Because he never had that conversation with her.
But you know what? To air it out in front of all these people, to do it anonymously, but then to own up to it. And he doesn't have a way with the written word, obviously. Because it was harsh in itself. But yeah, I think if he was the only one who had spoken up, people would have been just like, oh, shut up, Austin, and we could have moved on. But now instead, everyone had to sit there quietly, listen to this poor, beautiful girl be, like, berated and not saying, love that Brian said something. Yeah. And, like, the girls all look visibly uncomfortable, too.
That's crazy.
Okay, we're going to finish the episode.
Oh.
Okay, we are finished the episode. Taylor, Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone facing for, like, 5 minutes straight.
While Landry is going ham.
Where do we begin?
Well, I mean, who started?
We talked about something. We came on and talked about Amaya and how awful
Papaya.
That was.
Well, then it was Shelley. That was the big one.
Yeah.
Who, like, she was called out she was called out by Ace in a continuation of their conversation / fight.
And he's right in this case. He's saying, why should I have boundaries and challenges when you're still exploring? What we've been saying the whole time, the rules don't apply to her. And it's like it's because she's being honest about it, because she's saying, I'm exploring both of you, then that's okay for her. Well, Ace is still exploring too. And he looks around and he's like, am I crazy? And no one stands up for anybody. No one says anything. But I understand his side. Sierra does this kind of, like, off topic, but you had a lot of choice in this challenge, and so your choices
That
did
makes
matter.
it worse because Shelly
She chose to go back with Chris, but the point is Ace chose to kiss a lot of girls, I guess, is their point. That you should have been more closed off, even though you're not closed off.
I'm going to
I don't agree either.
Okay, I'm going to counter her on that. It's worse to me that Shelly would go back for one specific person.
The physical connection.
Yes.
Or the emotional connection.
Yes.
100%.
So the fact that she's not getting...
And she's using that as a pass. Well, that's because this is emotional too, and I'm being upfront about it. If I'm Ace, the things Shelly has said now, and the things she has gotten mad about, the way she gets mad during, and we'll talk about this, during Huda's and Chris's turns, that she has so much to say to both of them. If I am Ace, I am out. Why does this girl care about Chris so much? It's at my expense now.
I also hate how, like, half of them, the people didn't fess up.
Most of them fessed up. A lot of them wrote anonymously.
Oh, the last few that were not, like, even Taylor asked, like, who wrote this? People didn't say.
Yeah, because it ended, because it's a big...
No.
Yeah.
You answered the question. It was pick one, and he was like, who wrote this? And then he's like, all right, you guys want me to pick one?
Right. It's Clark.
Yes,
and the episode ends. But we need to rewind.
Yeah, Shelly's up. She fights with Ace.
Put Hood up first.
But Shelly went up first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She fights with Ace. Huda asks about the challenge. Fights with her. There's one other one. I don't know. She gets called out.
Ace gets called out by Austin.
Yes.
Austin starts to defend himself. Ace calls himself 5'10". I don't know.
Don't know about that.
But maybe the camera, the camera adds 10 pounds. Maybe the camera decreases 4 inches.
Basically, he gets called out by Austin for being the leader and everyone else just being his followers.
Because Jeremiah was damned if he did, damned if he didn't.
I think both of them were right. Austin's definitely right about that no one will stand up to Ace in these discussions.
And that they went too hard on Jeremiah. But Ace...
Well, I was going to say Ace is right about calling out
Jeremiah's love bombing.
Well,
they went too hard on him because they piled on him. That it's been bullying. It's been everyone against one. That feels like shit.
But I'm saying also he was right that Austin won't have hard conversations with anyone.
Right. So Ace took that moment, and again, it was kind of at Amaya's expense to say, and then, Ace basically says, you were speaking negatively about Amaya while you guys were together and wouldn't say any of that to her. That's why she's so shocked at the postcard you sent her tonight, because you'd never said that to her.
Yes, I'm glad he said that.
Me too. And so they're both right and they're both wrong. So because Ace kind of skewed the conversation to that, we lost the plot that Ace is the mastermind. And like Taylor screwed up his face at that, like, oh yeah, like me and Nick are just followers is the implication. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Although not in this last vote when Nick got his way and kept Landria. Because Ace wanted Coco to stay.
True. But that's what the show has been. Ace getting his way less and less. So, like, his leadership isn't even successful. So, like, Amaya... And then Austin turns to Amaya and he's like, this isn't your conversation. Hello? Ace is bringing up the fact that you talked shit about her while you were still with her.
And he mansplains.
He's like, do you understand? And she's like, yeah, I don't need it interpreted for me. He's like, oh, because it doesn't seem like you do. That is such a douche bro move to then double down and be like, oh, well, it doesn't seem. So I'm done with Austin. At first I was like, oh my gosh, he's calling Ace on his ish. It's another everybody sucks here. Everybody sucks here.
Everybody sucks here.
So then Huda comes up, right?
Yes. And she had a bunch. Basically, first, mostly about her and the way she's moving with Chris.
Yes.
And I thought, laid it out pretty, like...
honest, upfront. Again, both things can be true. Chris could have originally been interested in Shelley, found out and was surprised he connected with Huda, and is now open to pursuing that. That is a logical sequence of events in a show like Love Island. Why are they so skeptical? And the girls are looking at each other. So I'm going to kind of combine Huda's and Chris's, because
Yes.
Sierra goes in on Chris too, being like, I thought you were all in on Shelley. They're just trying to be girls to Shelley's, but it's coming off as like, raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by the Temu version of the Powerpuff Girls. And everyone in the villa needs to raise their hand. They were going at everyone. And at first Sierra wasn't saying anything, but she was mean girl smirking and being like, really? And like looking over at the girls like, oh, her faces were like, can you believe Huda is saying that? Type faces. Oh my gosh.
Here's my thing with the Huda and Chris situation. Yes, we knew Shelley and Chris had oh my goodness.
Hello, Luna.
Oh my goodness. Had a connection in Casa. But then she picks Ace again and says, I still want to explore. But then I don't think they've had like somebody said, they haven't had a conversation since they've been back. Like, they haven't even seen each other.
Exactly. And then that links with Olandria and Taylor too. Like, Olandria calls out as if it's going to be this bombshell to Clark that Taylor said he's still open with her. And Clark's like, no, he told me that. It's like, but have you been showing that? No, he hasn't been showing that, because the truth is he's just not interested and he doesn't have the balls to say it. He at least had the balls to choose Clark, and they're right. He didn't know anyone else was going to be safe. So the fact that you risked Olandria's life in the villa means you were pretty certain.
Yes,
But stand on it. By the end of it, he stands on it.
I'm like, I could see him picking Clark from a mile away. Like, I don't see how no one else sees the connection between him and Clark when he's not doing anything for Olandria. That they're still in this delusion that, like, he wants Olandria. We have to keep springing.
Right, like isn't it, just want to let you know, Clark, he's still open to exploring. Yeah, but he spends his whole day with me and doesn't talk about you to any of his friends. And he's forgotten about you. Please have enough pride in yourself to forget him back. And instead, now, I know we've kind of glossed over Chris and Huda to go to Olandria and Taylor. But Olandria yells at Taylor for 5 minutes straight. Do I think she needed to do that? Yes. As in for her, I think she needed that to get that off her chest, because she's been acting so even-keeled the whole time. At some point, it's gotta give. Do I agree with some of the things she said? Yeah, Taylor, he should have never said to her, I'm still open to pursuing you. He should have been completely upfront to her. I mean, if I'm sitting you down and I'm telling you that I voted for you to leave, then you should know. But he hasn't said that. I think that's how upfront he needs to be about it. Anyway, she fully yells at him for 5 minutes.
Yes. But she's being, again, if you have watched these, I have said he should have been sent home the entire season.
Right.
Until he's...
Because he was putting in zero effort.
Yes, until he met the new girls, where we actually saw some personality from him. I'm like, okay, now he's actually trying and forming a connection with Clark. Now it's time for Olandria to go, because she's putting in zero effort with anybody. So my whole thing is, now she's like, oh, I'm going to go explore with Zach. But obviously tonight, or in this episode, you can't say that's genuine anymore.
No.
Especially with her.
You wouldn't have that much built up animosity.
Yeah, especially with your little petty, you're a bitch, make up your mind. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
that was all the postcard hers to Taylor
with a smiley
said.
face. Like,
Oh, and when she ended her turn, she said, anyone have anything else? Didn't think so. And, like, shuffles the card. Like, now she thinks she's that bitch. And before we were labeling her that bitch, like, I think we're taking the title away.
yeah.
Mean. All three of them. Mean.
Yeah. It's,
Sierra piles on. Shelly piles on.
Sierra's... my problem with her is she's a yes woman.
No, she really believes it, though. I believe she's really a girl's girl, but, like, to the point that she believes she's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Chris handled himself so well.
That's how
Olandria, and Hutta still defends Olandria against Taylor, even at the end. Even after Olandria calls her out, Hutta is standing there in front of everyone, and Olandria says, is there something you'd like to tell the class? And Hutta's like, tell the class what? She's like, about your kiss? So, like, Hutta shared that she kissed Chris outside of a challenge to Olandria, her friend. So, to me, that's gross.
That's
to air
gross.
that. And you know what? Hutta stands up and she says, that was not your place to tell that in front of everybody.
Also...
I was telling you because you're my girl and I was excited. I was going to tell Shelly. It was my place to tell her.
Chris and Shelly hadn't spoken in days.
Like, do you just want Chris to, like, be be dormant? Like a robot? Like, lay in bed and just press the on button when it's time to interact with you and try and pursue you?
That's why this season, everyone stinks. It's just...
Well, Taylor said it. He said, you want me to make choices for you. I'm here to find love too. I made a choice for me. Now, do I think in that he should have been considerate of her feelings? Which he didn't. So they're both in the wrong. But he is right to say, I made a choice for me. If I was Clark right now, I'd feel really secure in the relationship.
He needs to take Alandria and say, like, we're done. You need to go explore. Like, you've gotten all your angst.
I think you asking me to choose? It's Clark. Right. I think that means there's not going to be a conversation between Alandria and
like
Taylor.
A lot of these things should have been small conversations, especially the Pepe and Grayson, like, which I want to point out, editing magic, the preview, what he read was completely different than what he read in the episode.
It was like, why are you wasting Grayson's time? Whereas this one, it's like,
it's a long one with, like, Hannah, you've been missing Hannah. Blah,
yeah.
Blah.
And she, again, they're both right in this. He can miss Hannah, but Grayson then said, this is my experience too. If you have no interest in me, I'm really trying to look for love. Like, let me have that opportunity. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So, like, she is right to expect that from him as Grayson. No one else needs an explanation from him.
Yeah, I think this whole anonymous letter thing has shown me that none of the Islanders realize that people can change their minds and can, like turn their head, to use the phrase of these show, turn their heads.
Right, which is the point of the show.
Like, just because Taylor was into Alandria for 3 weeks doesn't mean someone can't come along and be a better connection for him. And yes, that sucks for Alandria.
Right.
And if he wasn't interested in her all the way, he should have let her know a long time ago.
Right, he's still in the wrong.
But he shouldn't be criticized for exploring a new connection. That is the show's purpose.
Also, Nick wrote a postcard to Hutta just being like, I don't think you deserve to be here. Like, you should have gone home twice.
He's been consistent.
Like, every time I voted you off, you should have gone. Hannah should still be here. Like, dude, it's been said. It's been said.
At least he wrote
You're just being mean.
Yes, at least he wrote his name.
To Hutta, from Nick. I wish you weren't here. Get it? Like a postcard says, wish you were here.
You know, tomorrow night's episode is going to be 40 minutes of everyone having their talks about this, and then Ariana's going to show up and be like, here's the vote.
Here's who's vulnerable.
Which,
you think we won't get the vote? What do you think? Bottom 3 of both?
I'm going to have a problem with this again because you have 20 people, so it's probably going to be like the bottom 6.
Okay.
No. Okay, the bottom 5. Half. Oh, bottom 4. Bottom 4.
I accept.
But
we murdered.
They've only said the people vote and then they're vulnerable. So it's going to be the Islanders picking again. And they're going to do opposite. No, they might do same. So if it's same gender, if one OG girl is in the bottom 4, no matter who it is, they're going to save her unless it's
we think there won't be OGs in the bottom just because they've been here long enough that they're going to have so many automatic votes. So then automatically at this point,
Grayson I think you probably eliminate 2 of each.
Right. Everyone who's just come in for Casa is at risk.
So Grayson, Jaden, goodbye. And then Alon and probably Brian, goodbye.
Which still doesn't put us...
But then, okay, you're going to do that for this episode. So then you're going to have a recoupling this weekend.
Right.
So then you're going to have to eliminate more. So then what's the point of doing this and not just doing a big recoupling?
I want ice cream. Do I have ice cream?
There's like 1 scoop of...
No, don't I have like an ice cream?
Yeah, you've only eaten 1. It's downstairs.
Gosh! PC, President's Choice, loads of s'mores.
Yes,
it's like a
right.
Magnum knockoff, like the Magnum ice cream.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Magnum. Don't spend money on it unless it's on sale. The birthday cake one might be better, but I like chocolatey things. It will hit the spot for a chocolate delicious dessert now. I don't see how anyone has a conversation after this. I don't see how anyone is friends again. I don't see how Huda was defending Alandria.
Alandria is the one that needs to go home. She has no connection. She is like Zach and her are not going to be an actual connection. She has no prospects unless bombshells come in. And I think we're at the point where they're not going to be bombshells anymore. So there's no reason for her to be here. She should be the one going home. As for the guys, Zach should be going home.
Sierra lost 100,000 followers.
Yes, I think...
So do you think she loses enough votes to be in the bottom? No. Because she still has 800,000 followers.
Right.
So she's probably still going to be in like the top 3.
I could see Alandria being in the bottom.
Was she mean enough to lose 100,000 followers?
I think people are just sick of her.
I thought her facial expressions were the worst of them all. But I'm trying to think of like what was said wise.
I think her mask is just slipping. I don't know.
Like she's a mean girl?
I think... I don't want to perpetuate stereotypes, but we've seen everyone flock to her in challenges. So I think she has to handle a lot of jealous people all the time. So she's probably... like toughened up and is got a mean-ish persona. Okay,
like an Erica Housewives, like Ice Queen.
Yes.
Okay.
But she's also... some of her comments were just like very passive-aggressive.
I felt it was all very passive-aggressive. They were like... At first they were like, hey, we're like arguing, but we're staying like, level in tone. It's like, yeah, that's called passive aggressive. Just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're not being miserable to each other.
When she asked Chris, like, are you just trying to stay in the villa or do you like...
Yeah.
And she's like, he said, I actually really have developed something with Huda. She's like, well, you should really make that known.
Yeah, and okay, I'll stop pressing you on it then. Sorry.
No, you're good. This was literally 30 seconds after every single guy backed up Chris when he said, I told everyone that like, hey, I'm actually really digging Huda and have this great connection with her. And every single
Dudes are
person
like nodding their
yes.
heads. Yeah.
So I don't know if she's been out of shape that he didn't specifically tell her.
And then she's trying to be cool girl about it, like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't press you on it then. Like, okay, if that's your answer, if that's what...
It's because he's not into Shelley.
Right.
So she's mad about it.
Right, but that's still passive-aggressive.
Yes.
Because you're really saying... What you're saying in that is, if you say so, like, you're telling him you don't believe him. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And
well, then I'll leave you. Shut up.
If I'm anyone in tonight, like, I don't want anything to do with Ace, Shelley...
Austin's really mean.
Zach. Jeez.
He just had to chime in.
If you're not Hannah, you don't want anything to do with Pepe. Like, I mean, none of the new people other than Chris got...
They just had to sit there quiet. It must have been hours. Like, imagine Jaden just sitting there.
Also...
Like, this is not about you.
Alon, like, he slicked back his curly hair. He looked like a different person.
A different person. Also, I saw a picture that's circulating on social media. Someone in the comments jokingly calls him Elon Musk. And you know how now social media does, like, summaries of comments? Facebook's Meta's AI summary was like, people are commenting on Elon Musk's new look. Oh, you weren't listening to me. Your only job when we're making a podcast is to listen to me. Well, you know what? You know who's laughing with me? Our listeners right now.
Yes.
We're going to go play Call of Duty because Nuketown 24/7 is back. We actually haven't played it since. In fact, we played World War II last night. We played a round of War.
Yeah.
And Shipment 24/7. I can't get used to it. Once I'm used to one Call of Duty game, it's really difficult for me to jump around. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Rate us, like us, subscribe us, comment us,
make them
share,
tell
all your friends. You're having a hard time with your words today.
I am. It's because I have so many thoughts about this episode and this season, and it's just like, I know I'm going to be disappointed on Thursday, or when we watch it Friday, because there are things that need to happen, people that need to go home, that aren't going to go home because they're just letting the OG Islanders run the season.
Ain't that the way it is?
Instead of the producers.
Things will never be
or the fans. Hey, you guys pick the couples, and then we're going to change less than 24 hours later.
What if they legit just do bottom 3 of both genders? You're out.
I hope so, but don't... Oh, I guess because it's done by voting. If they do that, yes, surprise, none of y'all being safe. Because... you can't have 4 people up for elimination and then save one of each and still have 20 people.
No, you cannot. I agree with you.
At least 4 people need to go home, and then you need to do a recoupling like 2 days after that and have another 2 people each go.
I promised our next podcast was going to be the finale of season 2 of The Devil's Plan. I lied to you.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Because there is no episode of Love Island to watch tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.